What's going on, guys? So in this video there's 15 very specific fragrances that I am eagerly looking forward to wearing as I get more and more winter type weather. What do I mean by winter type weather? I mean cold enough to snow. It is that today. I have had a few days of that this past week, and a few of these in this video I've been lucky enough to wear, including one that I'm currently wearing, which is what we're going to start the video with. But I digress. I'm getting a little bit off topic. So these are the 15 winter style fragrances that I'm looking forward to wearing the most. Some of these I exclusively wear during the winter. Some of these I've had for a while and I'm reaching back into my collection. Some of these are channel favorites. Some of these are very new to my collection and I just have already deemed them perfect for winter weather. So I want to talk to you about them. So stay tuned. We might as well start with the fragrance that I'm wearing currently. My wife told me the three sprays I'm wearing is immensely strong. And she's right, it is. It is from SCENTual Obsessions. It is their version of Andy Warhol. I love this stuff. This is the greatest plum fragrance in existence. Plum oud, a little bit of a leathery feel. There's some spices. I have a lovely sillage. I don't even need to smell it out of the atomizer. This is my newer bottle. I have a much older bottle that's a few years older than this one. Both are heavily macerated. Rich, juicy, fruity, sweet plum with this nice, slightly funky oud, but not really heavily dirty type of oud. I wouldn't consider it more on the medicinal side either. It has more of that warm wood feel without being dry. That's why I say it's got a little bit of the oud funk. Gorgeous fragrance. I've done a full review on this one. 3 sprays was plenty. When I wear hoodies, I don't like to spray my hoodies, so I tend to wear stronger fragrances since I'm going to spray less. That's when I make myself wear a much more loud and intensive overall scent, and that is definitely the case here. It was perfect today. The high was like 41. Most of the day it's felt like the low 30s. Currently, in fact, just to let you guys know, it's 3:40 Mountain Time where I'm at, and it currently feels like 39 degrees. So perfect winter type weather. It's drier air out here, not real heavy on the humidity, so it's beautiful wintry mix. I wouldn't be surprised if later tonight it snows, because we do have snow forecasted in a few days, but one I was so eager to wear that I went ahead and wore it today. The SCENTual Obsessions version of Bond Number 9, Andy Warhol. Next is a fragrance that I got very excited when I was putting this video topic together and gathering the fragrances, because I did not wear this one, I don't even think, once last winter. It is the epitome of designer fragrances for pretty much around December, January time. It smells like roasting marshmallows by the fireplace. I mean, it's even in the name. Quintessential winter time is Maison Margiela Replica by the fireplace. Absolutely one of the best cold weather designer fragrances out on the market. Has been for many years. I have not spent a ton of time with it. You can see there's not a real large dent here. I have a few clones of this, and they just don't compare, from a few different clone houses. They're not quite as good as the original. This is just such a great fragrance. So warm, cozy, crispy, a little smoky, burning woods type of thing, some sweetness, almost like a marshmallowy, roasting marshmallows by the fireplace kind of thing. But it's mainly that smoky, burning wood smell, that kind of fiery embers, the embers from the wood as it burns. This really replicates that. It's known to have this dry chestnut note, which you do start to get as it starts to dry down. Performance is great. It's above average. It's very pronounced. It's got a really good sillage without being some super strong beast. This is just such a cozy, cuddly fragrance for the cold winter weather. Like I said in the beginning of this section, it is quintessential winter. Very excited to wear this one. I actually sprayed it on my arm last night. It is from Maison Margiela's Replica line. This is by the fireplace. So a few days ago when it snowed, this is another fragrance. This is why I decided to do this video, because I've been getting so giddy and excited. For as much as I love fall, which we are in, because where I'm at, I get some warmer days to still pull off some nice fresh fragrances, and I get these cold wintry mix type of days to pull off these cold weather fragrances. And hands down my favorite amber oud combination out there, I was able to wear Roja Parfums Amber Oud. I absolutely adore this fragrance. It's very reflective. It's not going to be easy to get this to focus. There we go. Oh man, is this some good, good stuff. Gorgeous cap, too. Gotta love the cap. The clear jewels. Just beautiful. Don't spray this dark juice on your clothes. It actually came with a warning in the box to not do that because it will stain your clothes. But just a magnificent scent. Such a deep, rich, and thick rose. Very, very jammy. You hear that term thrown around when it comes to certain roses. Thick and jammy. The oud here does have that oud funk, but it's such a high quality fragrance overall. It's just, man, it's hard to say that about many oud heavy fragrances that it's just so intoxicating, a gorgeous magical elixir. This is one of those fragrances that you can say that about, that I have full confidence in saying that. I smell it floating in the air. It's kind of overwhelming this area and this airspace from that one little spray. Immensely powerful, ridiculously high quality. It smells expensive. It is expensive. But having it smell expensive somewhat justifies the price point. This is just an olfactive experience worth having. I know based on my Scent of the Day post recently, actually last week on IG, there's a lot of people that came in the comments to say this is their favorite from the house, and I can understand why. While not my favorite from the house because I look at overall amount of wear and usability for me personally as to what I consider my favorite from the house, but from just a standalone scent profile, I totally get why this is a lot of people's favorites because hell, it's my favorite amber and my favorite oud rose fragrance. Even though it says amber oud and there is a dominating ambery tone to the fragrance, it's all about the oud and the rose. Just magnificent, built for the cold, really good stuff. So Roja Parfums Amber Oud. Next, this is the Hugo Boss fragrance that I wear strictly in the winter. It's such a good cold weather, daytime and evening wear fragrance. It's got some gourmand facets to it. It's got that uniqueness of the Meninka fruit that the Boss the Scent line is known for. We are talking about Boss the Scent, but more specifically, get it to focus so you can see we are talking about Private Accord. I don't know why it doesn't want to focus. You got to hit certain angles with the lighting. There you go. Private Accord. This is my large 200 milliliter bottle. You can see that juice level dropping. And I specifically wear this fragrance in the winter. Oh man, I love this stuff. It's so good. The trail on this is intoxicating. It's got some dark chocolate. It's got some soft leather. It's a little dry, dusty, powdery tone. It's got this roasted coffee note that doesn't overtake the fragrance. I wouldn't consider this the most dominating coffee smell of a fragrance, but you can technically kind of classify it as a coffee fragrance because it is there, it's present, you will smell it. But there's a lot going on here. There's nuance to this scent profile. And back when I worked at Mercedes-Benz, back when I was in Texas, I had a buddy that I got him on a sample of it. After I had got my bottle, I gave him my sample, and he ended up getting a bottle. And I always knew when he was wearing it, and when we would go to lunch, I would walk in his trail because, yeah, I love how this smells on me, but I loved how it smelled on him too. This stuff is amazing in the air. This has a magical scent trail. This stuff is amazing as a daytime office wear scent, believe it or not, in the cold. It has that cozy tone to it. It's extremely alluring, and it's on the unique side. I've never smelled another fragrance that smells anything even close to Boss the Scent Private Accord. Really, really good stuff. Arguable which one's my favorite between this and the Absolute Flanker because they're both just so damn good, but so damn different at the same time. It's really hard to choose, but when it comes to winter, this is the one for me. Boss the Scent Private Accord. Next is the discontinued Gem. Unfortunately, it's discontinued. I do have two bottles. This is one of the Iris fragrances that I strictly wear in the winter. It's got a lovely moist patchouli note, soft leather. We are talking about Prada L'Homme Intense. You know, a hype beast when it was in production, just as much of a hype beast now that it has been discontinued. Gorgeous. Gorgeous fragrance. Has that soapy floral powdery tone of the original's DNA, but here it's much more warm, thick, rich, leathery overall. A little bit on the earthy side, but not a dirty, earthy feel. Almost there's a little bit of a cleanliness feel to it because of the soapy tone of the florals. it doesn't allow that earthy tone, that kind of darker edge to the scent profile to really just get kind of funky in any way, if you will. This is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance that lasts a long time, is very pronounced, but not extremely loud. It's not in your face, has a pretty good sillage overall. It's detectable after the projection calms down, which is good for about an hour and a half, 2 hours before it's going to start sitting closer to the skin. But beautiful. I strictly wear this one in the winter. I'm super eager to wear this. I can't wait. Can you wear it in the fall? Of course you can. But I'm so seasonal, and once I deem a fragrance excellent for a specific season, because I have so many, I kind of only wear it for those seasons to make it special. And that's the case here with Prada L'Homme Intense. My favorite gourmand oud, my favorite Montale fragrance. It's one of my favorites, especially for the cold. It is Montale's Honey Oud. This stuff is so freaking good. I urge everyone watching this video, try this fragrance. Get a sample. Get your nose on it. Wear this stuff on your skin. Warm cinnamon spice, a little bit of a funky oud, but a thick, very thick, almost sticky type of honeyed sweetness. Picture this. Picture oud chips, pieces of the agarwood, just a little pile of it. Glaze it in honey and amber, this ambery feel overall, because I know every amber is synthetic. It just creates accords now, but coat it in honey, sprinkle it in cinnamon, shave some vanilla over the top. It's pretty much what you get here. A monster performer. This is a straight up beast mode fragrance. This is loud. This is in your face. If you spray this moderate and above, you're going to fill a room. Would I be moderate sprays? I consider 5 to 10. 10 being on the higher side. 10 starts to get on the heavy side. So you go anywhere from 5 to 10 sprays, even 5 to 7. Oh man, everybody's going to smell you. This stuff is so good though. This is one of my favorite gourmands, and it just so happens to be an oud dominant fragrance at the same time. Oh man, this is delicious. You don't need a lot of sprays. You're not going to spend a ton of money. You can find this one sub $100 price point from discounters online for a 100 milliliter bottle like this. If you can find a tester, you can probably get it even cheaper. Most of my Montales come in a white tester box, and they're all in the $50 to $70 range, which I paid around 80 some odd dollars for this one. Great price for this because you're getting well beyond your money's worth with this fragrance. The quality's there, the originality of this, the blend and scent profile as a whole. Performance is great. It's just, I can't say enough good things. Fan-frickin-tastic. One of my favorites for the winter. I can't wait to wear Montale Honey Oud. A timeless classic in my opinion, and I'm sure there's a lot of you watching this video that will agree. Ralph Lauren's Polo, also known as Polo Green. Yeah, it's not exactly what it used to be, but that's okay. It's still pretty damn good. Piney green, a little fresh, some soft and dry tobacco, aromatics, deep, rich, earthy, spicy, warm, just classic masculine right here. Done to perfection. I love this stuff. Another one I only wear in the winter these days. When I was a kid, I used to wear it to school dances. Many years ago when I used to have a small bottle of it. This is a recent rebuy in the last 2 years. This 4-ounce bottle probably will outlive me because I kind of only wear it in the winter. It's just such a great winter fragrance. When you want something piney green, Christmas tree, cypress type of smell, I mean, there is none greater in my opinion. This is just such a great winter fragrance. Performance is still really good. I don't care what anybody says. If you get weak performance, it's your skin. It's not just the fragrance because, like I said, this is a recent formulation within the last 2 years or so. And it's still very long lasting, still pretty. It can be obnoxiously loud if you spray it on the heavier side. It's still all that in a bag of chips in my opinion. And I just can't wait to start wearing this one. This really is light years better than the new version, the Cologne Intense. That's not an Intense, it's a fresh green fragrance basically. Kind of the modern take on this, I guess you could say, in many ways. I like that fragrance, but I like the original so much more. Such a great pick for the winter. Can't wait to wear it. Ralph Lauren Polo. One of the most oddball fragrances I own that I strictly wear in the winter. Just like the other night when I sprayed by the fireplace on one arm, I sprayed this on the other. I guess you could call it kind of a layering thing, but I wanted to smell both because I got so excited to pull these out. We're talking about Parfums de Marly Kalan. Yep, Not a ton of fans of this one. Very polarizing fragrance. It's a little herbal, kind of super warm and spicy, zesty blood orange, peppery type of kick. Almost smells like a red rubber ball. Some of you have heard me say that before. It's strange, but I love the hell out of it. Ever since I sampled this, so the goodie bag that you got of samples for 2019's Scent Explorer, the very first one, that was where I got a sample of this, carded sample. I fell in love with it. Absolutely fell in love. So happy to have a bottle of this. This is not for everyone. I totally get how some people can't stand this fragrance. Super polarizing scent profile. It's a weird one, but so weird in a lovable way, in my opinion. It's magical in the air. I love the way this one smells. It's very addictive for me personally. And at the end of the day, you got to wear fragrances for yourself. You got to want to smell yourself. And that's definitely the case here. When I have this one on, literally night before last, I had it on my wrist and I just kept smelling it and smelling it. And the sillage on it's so strong, I didn't even have to have my arm really within range and it was still hitting me pretty strong. Performance is fan-frickin-tastic. There's a little touch of sweetness here, but some people will compare it to Baccarat Rouge 540. Very faint similarity. It's in there, but it's just minuscule. There's other fragrances that walk that path a lot more than this one. I think the red bottle kind of ties it in a lot more, but this is a different fragrance pretty much overall. I would say maybe a 20 to 30% similarity at best to Baccarat Rouge 540. Gorgeous stuff, cuts through the cold, very cozy, warm and spicy scent profile. Can't wait to wear it. Parfums de Marly, Kalan. This is my favorite Azzaro fragrance. It's between this and the Most Wanted, which the Most Wanted could have went in here. I kind of wear that mainly in the winter, but I have worn it a little bit in the fall. But as far as Azzaro fragrances, there is none better for me personally than Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. I adore this fragrance. This stuff is so good. So good. Take the original, that spicy aromatic, soft, spicy, and aromatic tone, a little herbaceous. Add a bunch of cinnamon to really warm, spice this thing up. Some sweet, boozy brandy, and here you go. You have the Intense. God, that smells so good. Classy, but not so classy that you can't wear it with a t-shirt and a hoodie. Like, most of the time, that's kind of what I wear it with. Performance is great. It's bordering a beast. It's really up there. If you spray this one on the moderate to heavy side, it's a beast mode fragrance. It really is. The longevity's there. It's a solid 9, 10, 11 hour fragrance. It's anywhere from 8 to 12 hours depending on your skin and the situation and setting. I don't recall ever even clocking it as low as 8 hours, to be honest with you. And it's pretty loud. It's one of those fragrances that if you don't want to be too in your face, go with just a few sprays. But if you want to make a statement, 5, 6, 7, 8 sprays range, it's going to be very pronounced and make a statement. It's going to announce, here I am, I know you can smell me. It's a very classy scent profile. Modernized take on the timeless scent profile of Azzaro Pour Homme. I love this stuff. And it's affordable. Right in that $40 range, you can get this fragrance. And like I said, in my opinion, for my taste, the best Azzaro fragrance in my collection. Again, that's Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. This one's actually pretty new to my collection. I've only worn it a few times. Very thick amber fragrance based around this ambery note, around this benzoin that creates this warm, sticky amber accord. It is Ambre Chromatique from Maison Crivelli. This stuff is like glue. I said this in the video for it. This stuff will be there the next day. This stuff can survive being scrubbed in a shower. It is that dense. Whatever the oils they used in here, it is crazy. You get a little bit of sweetness. There's some herbaceous tones to this fragrance, but the highlight, the main feature, is this benzoin, this specific benzoin absolute that they used that creates this sticky, warm, lightly herbaceous feel because of the supporting notes to this fragrance. There is not really a heavy sweetness. It's not super dry because it's so thick and sticky. Sticky is actually a good word to describe this fragrance. You have to smell it to fully comprehend what I mean by sticky. It's a thick aroma. It hangs in the air. It makes an impression when you walk by someone. It's very assertive. It's very strong, but it's also sensual at the same time because of its warmth, its cozy nature. This is such a gorgeous fragrance. I am so glad I have a bottle of this. This is my first fragrance from the house, and I couldn't be happier. And I got to tell you, it's too strong for warmer weather. It really is. It's ridiculous. It's an extrait de parfum. I don't know the exact oil concentration, but it's like glue concentration. Glue is a great word to describe the longevity to this fragrance. Absolutely just magnificent. Can't wait to spend more time with it this winter. Ambre Chromatique from Maison Crivelli. So this fragrance is so absurdly powerful. I think it's going to be best for the winter. I have spent some time with it. I did do a video on it, and it's a great representation of Oud for Greatness with a little bit of a tweak. It's got that saffron, that heavy dose of saffron that I just love in the scent profile. This is from Afnan. This is called Supremacy in Oud. So Afnan has become my favorite affordable Middle Eastern house. My favorite Middle Eastern house is Amouage, obviously, but as far as clones and even some of their originals and inspired by fragrances, this is just good stuff. I mean, really, really good stuff. I love what they're doing with the Supremacy line. And look, I love 9 p.m. too. That's not in the same line. But very rich, warm, and spicy, a little floral. There's a sweetness here. It's bright. It's super loud and extremely long-lasting. It's an extrait de parfum. Again, I'm not sure of the oil concentration, but I do know it's 25% or above because it's a pure parfum extrait de parfum. Just beautiful stuff. You can get this in the $40 to $50 range. Well worth the money, in my opinion. It's much cheaper than getting your hands on Oud for Greatness. Oud for Glory, I know somebody's going to ask in the comments. I have not tried. I can't compare between the two, but I can tell you based off my experience with this one, the quality is fantastic for what it is, especially for the money. This is really, really good stuff. I'm eager to wear this one. It's been sitting on the rotation table for a few weeks now, waiting on the right weather to wear it, and we're starting to slowly get into that, but very excited to rock this one this winter. It's Afnan, Supremacy in Oud. Next is a gorgeous amber vanilla sweet floral from a French house called Fleurs de Golfe. This is called Baccara Vanille. This is a magnificent offering from the house. Might even be their most popular fragrance. You can see that juice level starting to drop a little bit. I like to wear this one in the cold because it's so absurdly powerful, and it's a sweet floral. Not a fruity sweet floral either. Very vanilla heavy. I know when you see the name, you're probably thinking Baccarat Rouge because it's Baccara Vanille. Not quite the same family. A little bit of similarity, sure, but this is more based around kind of white florals and vanilla overall. Very, very unisex. A lot would deem too feminine for themselves to wear. A lot of guys, I'm confident, would not have the confidence or the desire to wear this because, like I said, it's based around their Gulf Flowers collection. As you can see right here on the bottom of the label, it says Gulf Flowers. So it's part of the collection that's based around heavy floral notes, which is why I like it so damn much. This is a statement maker. Confidence is key when wearing this one, guys. Absolutely can be a fragrance just for my wife, but I actually thoroughly enjoy this. Like I said, sweet floral. A very beautiful sweet floral. Nothing really masculine about this fragrance at all. Definitely leans on the more feminine side, but there's just something about the scent profile that's just so attractive. It's ridiculously powerful too. It is loud. I don't do more than 4 or 5 sprays, and that's pretty strong, trust me. Again, that is Fleurs de Golfe. This is Baccara Vanille. Speaking of florals, this is my favorite floral fragrance for the winter time. I only wear this one in the winter as well, which makes this fragrance last forever and ever for me. I don't need to do more than 4 sprays. This is a strong statement maker with 4 sprays on my skin. Trust me, we are talking about Dior Homme Parfum. My favorite cold weather fragrance. My favorite Dior fragrance. I just want it to focus one time for me. There we go. This is such a magical fragrance. In my opinion, one of the 5 best fragrances I've ever smelled. Where do I rank these 5? I'm not sure, but I can tell you right now, if it came down to being able to just put my arm around a handful of fragrances and something happened and that's the ones I can make it out with, this is one of them. It was possibly the first fragrance I'm reaching for. I love this stuff so much. God, that is so good. Beautiful animalic, kind of edgy leather. There's a lot of an animalic tone at the top. Very lipsticky and waxy iris, but it's not overdone. Like the iris is kind of toned back a little bit from the Intense, from the original, though still very present. Honestly, I think it's a bit more waxy than the other two, probably because of the heightened oil concentration, because this is a pure Parfum. It's 25% or better. But the leather is kind of what dominates here. You get a little bit of citrus, but I don't really get much. I think it's an orange note in the top. But as it dries, it becomes all about the sandalwood. It lightens up. That dark edge tones into a soft, creamy tone. Just woody nuance. It becomes dominated by sandalwood. As it dries, the leather starts to fade and soften up quite a bit, and then the iris tones down greatly as well. This is just a beautiful fragrance that doesn't have a ton of nuance to it. There's subtle changes to the fragrance, but it is one of the best aromas I have ever smelled in my entire life, no matter what the product, no matter what the smell is coming from, food, you name it. This is one of the best smells I've ever smelled in my life. That's how I feel about this fragrance. I would hope that can put the level of importance on it that I'm trying to put. I love this fragrance wholeheartedly. So glad to have 275 mLs. They will last my entirety of my life, I'm sure. Probably outlive me at some point because I only wear it a few times every winter because it's such a special scent profile to me. But I'm eager to wear it this winter. Dior Homme Parfum. Next is one of my favorite smoky fragrances. It was actually featured recently in my favorite smoky fragrances in my collection. Beautiful leather, cherry smell, bitter almond. We are talking about Guerlain L'Homme, Idéal, L'Intense. This is magical stuff in its own right, guys. This is my favorite from the house. My favorite in the line. I wish it would focus. I don't know why it's not focusing. There we go. Beautiful yellow outline with the white. The newer bottles are completely clear and translucent with a darker grayish tone to the juice. From what I understand, there's been no reformulation, just a change in the bottle paint. This is some really, really good stuff. So good. Stays true to the original's DNA. Not quite as sweet, very dark, rich, and smoky. Almost ashy type of smoky tone, but still very smooth overall. The leather's heightened here also. This is an intoxicating fragrance. I love this stuff. I know there's a lot of people that the extremes, their favorite, or the EDP, or the original, or the cologne flanker that got discontinued, whatever. Everybody likes what they like, and I like all of those that I mentioned. The whole line's good. Even the sport, underrated. But this one's the best of the bunch for me and in my opinion. I love this stuff. This is another one that I strictly wear in the winter. It just has that cozy night out going to dinner with a bomber jacket on vibe to me. And I have about a handful of bomber jackets. I like to wear them in that, semi-casual type of setting, going out to dinner most nights and stuff like that on like a Thursday night or something. This is one of those fragrances I like to reach for. So very eager to reach for this one this particular winter. Great performer overall. Just a beautiful, smoky, sweet leather. This is Guerlain L'Homme Idéal Intense. Last but not least, this is my favorite from this house. It's my favorite vanilla fragrance. It's got this beautiful benzoin, fresh, effervescent pop at the opening that kind of gives a little bit of a boozy feel. It's warm and spicy, ambery. This is kind of a unique vanilla, to be honest. It is Nishane Ani, a personal favorite, a channel favorite, a regular recommendation on this channel. I love this stuff. Performance is wonderful. Wife is a huge fan of the scent profile, as am I. This is so good, guys. Absolutely sample worthy. Get your nose on this. This was a blind buy that I assumed I would really enjoy. And boy, was I undershooting just how much I was going to end up liking this fragrance. To where I would take this over every Nishane fragrance I've tried. I do want to get Neff's. I love that one. I think it's amazing. I have tried it. I do want to get that, but that's going to be my next Nishane purchase. Believe it or not, Tuberosa. I love Tuberosa. I would actually wear Tuberosa. I think it smells amazing. I enjoy a good tuberose fragrance. I don't think that's too feminine for me. Of course, Hachivat B612, Fan Your Flames, and so on. I enjoy all of these fragrances. Wulong Cha, they put out countless just bangers from the house. But for me, this is the king of the mountain. This is the top of the hill. This is the cream of the crop. Say however whatever terminology you want to use for this is the best of the best. In my opinion, this is the best of the best. It's that damn good. And I like to wear it when it's nice and cool and crispy and cold outside. Wintry mix, snowing or not, winter weather really suits this cozy scent profile. Just gorgeous. Can't wait to start wearing it more. Nishane Ani. Well, that's the 15 fragrances that I am most eager and excited to wear as I get more and more winter weather moving into the remainder of this year. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What's some of those fragrances that you kind of strictly wear in the winter, that you've been waiting to maybe dust off the top of the bottle and put it into your rotation and start wearing? I'd love to read about that in the comments. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the 15 I'm eager to wear, you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.